Hey everybody, we're getting ready to go live over here with the Lawful channel and the Chicago Legal Group. So I just thought I'd come on and say hello and let people have a chance to get online. Hey, by the way, if you're watching this on replay or if you're watching this live, I've got some construction going on here. I'm in my home office, so sorry about that. If you hear any noise in the background, that's what it is. But I want to go ahead and take this moment to thank you for checking out this channel. Again, my name is Barry Zlotowicz. I'm a personal injury attorney, and I have the Lawful channel. It's a great place to get short videos on the legal topics that affect our lives. If you haven't already, would you please subscribe to our channel? And if you have any questions or comments about a legal matter, please reach out to me. I'm an open book on this stuff, and I've helped a lot of people on this channel. It's really what I live for, and it's what my mission is. So please feel free to reach out to me. If you don't know, every Friday we go live with our top 5 legal questions of the week. And then every Tuesday I post a new video on a substantive topic. The top 5 questions this week are good ones. We're going to start off with a weird one. So I'm just warning you. But let's go ahead and jump into this. So the first question I want to come up comes from Kenneth, who watched my video on what happens if my dog bites somebody. And I put a link to that video in the description. I put a link to all the videos in the description for this live YouTube video. So if you want to go back later and check out one of those videos, please feel free to do so. So here's the weird fact pattern. He said his own dog bit his own daughter, and he takes his daughter to the doctor, and the doctor wants him to report his own animal to animal control. Really? Listen, this is a really weird fact pattern, but it emphasizes one thing that I want to share with you, and that is dog bite law is super state specific. So I give a lot of information on this channel, general information, but you always have to look at what your own state says about a topic, and dog bite law is one of those things. So personally, I'm not going to report my own dog for biting a family member, but this doctor may be right. In this person's state, in Kenneth's state, it may be the law that every single dog bite has to be reported to animal control. I don't know. Kenneth needs to do that research himself. But it also raises another issue I wanted to bring up, is that dog bite cases are state specific, and there are 3 general variations of laws you're going to find. One is a strict liability, where if the dog bites, basically the owner is on the hook. The other is a general negligence, meaning if the dog owner breached his duty to take care of his dog properly, and that resulted in the dog biting somebody, well, then that dog owner is going to be on the hook. And the third type of state is what's called a one-bite state. There are a few states out there that give a free bite to the dog owner, meaning they're not on the hook for that first bite, but they are for bite 2 and bite 3 and so forth. So anyways, that's our first question of the week. I wanted to start off with a super weird one. Let's get to more traditional questions. The second question of the week is about motorcycle accidents. And this is for all you motorcycle riders out there. It came from Niccolos, who watched my video on the types of insurance motorcycle riders should have. And he asked, should I get collision coverage because it jumps my insurance a lot? Well, first of all, I was kind of surprised that getting collision coverage would jump the insurance that much. But he asked the question, and we went back and forth, and it sounds like it would cost him a lot of money. But here's the thing I want to point out. Motorcycle riders always tell me the same thing. I've got full coverage, and they never do, ever. What they think they mean by saying they have full coverage is they have the minimum limits required by their state. That's not good enough if you get in a motorcycle accident. You're riding a bike and the other guy is driving in a 3,000 or 4,000 pound vehicle. You're going to take the brunt. You're the one that's going to be damaged. So you have to have as much insurance as you possibly can. And that could mean collision coverage or comprehensive, but it could also mean bodily injury, liability insurance, and most importantly for motorcycle riders, uninsured motorist and underinsured motorist, at least $100,000 if you can. I think you'll be surprised at how inexpensive it is to go from the minimum limits up to $100,000 insurance. This is critical for bike riders. And if I could just get you to take this one piece of advice, I'd feel good about this video. All right, so that's the second question of the week. I want to go on to the third question of the week. And it came from a Dr. Embry, who watched my video on PTSD after a car accident. And I put a link to that video in the description below. And she said, yes, I had an accident and suffered injuries. Now I'm very anxious in the car. I see everything as a potential accident just waiting to happen. Dr. Embry, I'm sorry you're having to deal with this, but this is an all too common occurrence. I hear it from people over and over again about the mental and emotional distress they suffer after they've been involved in a car accident. They're always afraid that the next time they get in a car, they're going to get hit. But if you want to recover for your emotional distress, if you want to recover for the PTSD you're suffering after an accident, very simply stated, you have to get medical treatment for it. You can't expect 8 months later or 12 months later to put a demand package in front of an insurance company and say, I was suffering from nightmares or I suffered PTSD, but you didn't get any medical treatment for it. I always tell people, if it's not in the medical records, it doesn't exist to the insurance company. So if you suffer PTSD or emotional distress or anything as a result of an accident, you got to go to the doctor. You got to get treatment for it if you want to be compensated for it later. All right, doctor, I hope I answered a question of yours, and you'll take action on it too. Not only because of your case, but frankly, I always tell people focus on your health, not your case. And when it comes to PTSD, there's nothing more important than clearing your mind and making it easier for you to get back in the car later, at a later date. Okay, so that's the third question of the week. The fourth legal question of the week came from Robert, and he watched my video on who's at fault for a rear end accident. And I put that link in the description below also. And this is an amazing story because this does not happen very often. He said, I got rear-ended by a semi. He was tailgating me. It started raining ahead, and I was thinking it was hard to see, so I slammed on my brakes. Well, the semi had a dash cam, it sounds like, and they looked at the video footage and they saw that he slammed on his brakes for no reason. Theoretically, it's raining hard. He's got a reason to be scared. But this is one of those few situations where in a rear end accident, the car in the front can actually be responsible for the accident. There are some other reasons too, like for example, let's say a car pulls out in front of you and you rear end it, or a car makes a lane change in front of you and you rear end it. But generally speaking, this is one of those unusual situations where a car in front stops suddenly and for no reason. There's evidence to support the rear driver's argument, and the front driver is found responsible for the accident. It does not happen very often. So listen, Robert, I'm sorry this happened to you. Listen, the benefit or the good thing is you have insurance. And that's why we get insurance in the first place, is that God forbid, if something happens to us while we're driving, we have insurance to cover it. Sounds like you have insurance and everything's going to work out okay. All right. So my fifth and final comment of the week comes from Philly, PA. That's his name online. It also happens to be where he's from. I had the unfortunate situation of asking him, and he said, of course, I'm from Philly, PA. And he wrote, and this is really my comment of the week. He wrote, I've been done treating 2 years and 4 months ago. This August makes 3 years for a rear end accident that the other guy caused. All right, I wanted to address this question because it's something. I'm in Chicago and we're a big city market and the courts are backlogged. And I just want to tell Philly, PA, it takes a long time to litigate and get a trial date in a major metropolitan market like Chicago or Philadelphia. Unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do to speed things up. Then on top of it, we've been hit by COVID in the last year and a half, and that has basically shut down the court system. There haven't been trials, although recently it's starting to pick up again. So I'm sorry that this has happened to you, but there's just not a lot you can do in a major metropolitan area to try and speed things along with your personal injury case. It just kind of is what it is. Listen, those are my top 5 legal questions of the week. I hope I answered somebody's question out there. My mission is to provide as much legal information as possible on my YouTube channel. If you have any questions or comments, would you please feel free to reach out to me? And if you haven't already, would you subscribe to our channel? I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday when I release my next video and next Friday when I go live again. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.